Hey, how are you doing? My name is Lauren Hazel. The first video I am doing in this particular group, Laptop Empire. Some of you know me, and some of you who know me are actually on vacation in France, being all fancy, which is why I can't see Mason. But anyway, my name is Lauren Hazel once again. There's some people in here who know me, and of course, they will shout me out later in the comments, most likely. And I just wanted to add another little knowledge bomb, aka I'm also testing out my new computer. So between that and that, this is what you get. So first of all, for those who do not know me, I have my own marketing agency, and I specialize. I'm actually one of the copywriters, so some people know me from other copywriting groups or Facebook ad groups. So, but I have my own marketing agency. I live in New York City, and I got a little bit of advice for some of you, because some of you have been talking about price justification. I know a couple of weeks back, I wrote a post in the group, and it was about different pricing, right? You know, if you charge $1,000 per client per month, and you have 3 clients, that's $3K a month, or that was 30, well, I believe $36,000 a year. You know, and everything else. And I went down that pricing structure all the way up to if you were charging $3,000 per client per month, and if you had X amount of clients, for that, you know, equals X amount of dollars per month, or that per year. You know, just to give it, you know, give you a little bit of a visual what this could look like for you. For those of you who are doing this full time, for those of you who are doing it part time as your side hustle, and those who are thinking about transitioning, eventually getting good or decent to getting enough clients to transition full time, what that could look like with how many other clients. And though someone asked me a question about, you know, how do you justify the price of what you're speaking about in this example? And of course, I didn't reply back to that because I have other things to do. And I think some other people had said some other things. I don't particularly remember, but I do remember that comment. And let's see. Well, let me put something in perspective for you. Now, I live in New York City, and that's pretty much the financial capital that is the advertising capital of the world. I am in the same place where Nike has its headquarters, where the NFL has its headquarters, where Marvel has its headquarters, where the biggest marketing agencies that spend worth billions of dollars have their headquarters, because a lot of them were founded here. So in terms of competition, my local clients for me would be like PayPal, you know, or AOL, or you know, or Time Warner Cable, which is now Time Warner, whatever the hell it is now. You know, those are my, like, could technically be my local clients because of the proximity of where I live, if that's going to be local ads, right? Now, of course, New York City has a whole lot of other businesses that are local, you know, between large car companies, small car companies, and everything else. So local for me might be something very different than what local for you might be if you live somewhere that is not New York City, or it's not Chicago, or it's not Atlanta. You know, all depends on where you live. If you don't live in a major city in wherever you live, or, you know, you live in the suburbs or a town. So local clients, if you're thinking about local proximity, for me, local proximity means something very different. One of my clients could be a major healthcare operation because they have a main or office out in New York. So very different depending on where you live. But in terms of ad agencies, my knowledge bomb is simply this. I can justify the price because I know what I'm doing, because I understand the value of what a lead is to my client. You see? Because check this. Let's say, for example, one of my clients, hypothetically, because I don't, small note, you might have to sign NDAs to a certain point, meaning non-disclosure agreement. So I've had to sign some of those, so I have to make hypotheticals up of certain situations. But usually, if I can, I will give you specific examples of people I work with currently or have worked with. But in this case, I'm going to give you a hypothetical example, okay? Let's say I had a Facebook ads client, and that client was a doctor who might be a special, a high-ranking, well-known doctor for a particular plastic surgery technique, so to speak, my hypothetical client. This individual, my job in their situation is to actively promote them on Facebook through ads, let's say, and to get them leads for whatever their offer is for their practice. Let's say one of my leads for this plastic surgeon with a particular technique, hypothetical client, has a breast augmentation, bigger breasts, smaller breasts, whatever breast augmentation surgery. And that one possible lead for them is worth at a minimum, at a bottom minimum, $3,600. So if one lead from me, from a Facebook campaign, is worth at a bottom price about $3,600, then if I charge them $3,000 a month, and it only takes one lead that they have for me to generate one lead that they close for them to make $3,600, and I can do that at least once a month, I pay for myself. I've already been paid for. So they don't see a loss. That's an extra lead that they got. So they don't care, or they shouldn't care as much if they want it done right, that I got them a lead that they would have never seen before, that they were able to close, and it's worth at least bottom price. If all they were doing was breast augmentation is $3,600, then they don't give a damn if I'm charging them $3,000 a month. They, and if I decided I'm going to charge a fee to set everything up for them, and let's say my fee for setup is $1,000, or let's say it's $1,000. So for the first month, they're paying me $4,000. Well, I get them 2 leads that they close. Well, let's see, what is that? That is $7,200. Yeah, $7,200, 36 and 36, $7,200. They don't really care that I might have charged them $4,000 for the first month, and that continuing on it'll be $3,000. They really don't give a damn, because the value of that lead to them is much more than the price of which they're paying for someone to generate that lead. Now, of course, not all businesses have those types of high margins, right? There are some businesses that have much lower margins, so they really need to sell, they have to have a lot more leads to, everything else. But if you're talking about price justification, the question is the price justification for you because of your mindset, because all this is scary, you've never done anything like this, or is the price justification for you to have to sit down and have this conversation on the phone or in person with someone? Because that's the thing you have to figure. That's the thing that I don't know what that particular person's issue was, who commented, and some of you going through it. Because some of you, the price justification end is really you, and it's not who you're potentially going after, right? Now, of course, you get I'm on the phone. I've talked to people who didn't want to pay the prices that I was going to charge, and I don't give a damn. They just like deuces, and I move on and I go to the next person. I don't care. Most of the time, I try not to get those types of people because I know exactly who my avatars or my customers should be, and I try to make sure I attract those people and that those people are referred to me, right? So I don't usually have to deal with that. But if I do, don't really bother me because I know what I'm worth. I know what I can do. I'm confident in what I do. And I'm actually still undercharging compared to the results that I can get. So I'm pretty confident that for a niche like plastic surgery and let's say breast augmentation, that I can generate them at least 3 more clients per month because it's an expensive procedure. And it's also an expensive procedure. It's a very highly competitive niche. Now, plastic surgery niches and stuff like that, very highly competitive. So if they're afraid to spend, if they're not spending at least a couple of $1,000s or so in that niche, they're not really getting the most they can get because that's a very expensive. It's just very expensive. Highly competitive. There's a lot of folks running ads in that space, right? And of course, if you're attempting to do it through Facebook, you got to be careful as to what you do. But $3,600 for a breast augmentation at a bottom price, and I'm confident that I can get at least 3 more people. Now, I also do other types of ads, so I'm just saying I'm highly confident that I can get at least get my client at least 3 more people, my hypothetical client. So if I charge them $3,000, who cares? I know I can get them 3 more people, and it's up to them to either say yes or say no. When I go through my whole sales thing, right? So for you, the question is, are you comfortable charging those prices? And most of you may not be comfortable charging someone $3,000 for some Facebook ads because you're not understanding the value of what you're doing. And you're not confident in your skills in order to perform. Because the other part of this is that you have to strategy might work, figure out what copy might work, test things out, and see what happens. And a lot of things can happen, right? But that's the whole part of the process. So if you're going to be doing Facebook ads as a side hustle, get used to it. Now, if you want to be one of those people out there who are only charging $700 a month, but have to do all this damn work, that's up to you. Maybe for you, extra 7, getting 3 clients, 7, 14, 21, what, $2,100 extra a month is great for you. And that's fine. Whatever is up to you if this is your side hustle. But if you're looking for an extra cool $1,000 a month in your pocket, then you need to charge a lot more, or you're going to have and manage a lot more, more customers and prospects in your pipeline, because you should always make sure your pipeline never runs dry in terms of prospects, right? Because people stay with you 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then they drop, and then they say, okay, that's the end of the contract, and now you need someone to replace that. And keep in mind taxes. Taxes are a real thing. Business expenses are a real thing. You got to figure all that out. So if I know that if I want a cool $1,000 in my pocket every month, and Facebook ads, for me, it's a side hustle, then I know I need to charge X amount of dollars, and I have to need X amount of clients, and that's the amount I want to have, because I have other things I do, right? So like I write sales copy, I strategize, I do ads outside of Facebook in different media platforms, right? And I have people that I have to manage and clients I have to manage. So if I'm doing Facebook ads because I want a couple extra $1,000 because I want to go to another Comic-Con, which I'm about to go to in another, get ready to go to in another few minutes, I don't want to have to handle 5 people in order for me to get my $1,000 or $2,000 extra a month for me. That don't make no sense, right? So I know I'm gonna charge a minimum of $2,500 or whatever it is for me. That's me, and I know because I only want to have 3 extra clients that I want to deal with on that side, because I have other stuff that's my bread and butter. That's just me. Your situation might be different, but being as an A, I'm confident that when I go after certain people, that 1, they can afford me, 2, they have a product that's margins are high enough for me to say, okay, only 3 people. Like I would never go after a company that's selling, as a side hustle thing, that's selling pills for $15. To me, that doesn't make it, to me, that's just not worth it to me. People who sell higher volume products, whether that's a fitness gym because they sell a fitness package every month, or maybe it's someone who's having a seminar for a training that's $2,000 or whatever it is, or $700, or if it's a company that's selling cars, or if it's a company that's doing whatever, but it's a high volume product. Well, that's more attractive to me because I don't need a lot of them to, one, justify my price because they make more than enough money to pay me. Two, they're looking for new leads and they want to use social media, so that's great. And three, as long as I can get them at least 3 more clients a month, I can justify me being there 30 days later to keep them on for month 2. That's great for me. My qualifications for what I look for from when I do Facebook ads for someone might be very different from yours. But the key to this thing is, one, you got to have some damn confidence. You have no confidence and none of this will ever work for you. You will fail horribly each and every time. Two, you got to figure out who your ideal customer is. And 3, you got to figure out how much you can actually handle. If you're working a full-time job, can you handle having 10 clients? Can you handle having 10 clients? You might not be able to handle having 10 clients. Handling 10 clients is a lot, right? Maybe the most you can handle a month is 4 clients or 5. And that could be troublesome, especially if you're working during the day, whatever your working hours are, if you're doing this if you have another job full time. So if the most you can handle a month is 3 clients, which my suggestion is you must be able to handle at least 3, then how much should you be charging to make it worth it for going through that type of frustration? I'm an introvert, so people can frustrate me very easily, right? Or tire me out very easily. So only you know that answer. I know what my answer is, especially since I have other businesses I run, other things that I'm doing and things I have to manage. What is it for you? You got to figure that out for yourself. I can't answer that question for any of you. You have to really figure out what that out. So if you can handle 3 clients a month and your goal is that this program is worth it to you, if you can have a solid $1,000 in your pocket after taxes, after expenses, then how much do you need to charge if you can only handle 3 people? So if you can only handle 3 people, maybe you need to charge $1,500 a month, because what is that? That's $4,500. 1, 2, 3, yeah, $4,500. Because after tax and everything else, you have a cool $1,000 in your pocket after taxes and expenses for you running this business. Then that's what you need to charge. That's what you need to charge if that's the case. If you can only handle 3 people a month and your goal for this whole damn thing is to add another $1,000 in cash or whatever in your pocket after taxes and expenses for your business, then maybe you need to charge $1,500 a month to kind of really make sure you secure that. Can you secure that with $1,000? Depending on where you live and taxes are and expenses, you probably could. Yeah, you probably could, but you probably should. I would be more comfortable in that case having 4 clients. That's just me personally. But if I said I'm only taking 3 at a time, then $1,500 a month would be my minimum doing it. That's just me, because I'm thinking what makes sense for me, right? That's one. And number 2, if you need another price justification thing to make your mind get right, check this. Once again, I live in New York City. I'm surrounded by a lot of ad agencies. I even do work for some of them. And I can tell you, if you were to apply for a job to become a ad manager at most ad agencies, they will require that you are able to handle up to 25 accounts at a time. That's right. They're going to require that you're able to handle at least up to 25 accounts at a time for a lot of them. And you might be freaking out at the number 25 accounts. Yeah, you would be required to handle around 25 accounts at a time. And it seems like a lot, but do you understand? And it is, but do you understand why? You see, this is the thing, folks. In this course, you're doing everything. You're planning the strategy out. You're figuring out what the copy needs to be, writing it, the different versions of copy. You're planning out the other part of the creative, what is the image or the video. You're deciding on what type of ad you're going to be using. You're doing all of that stuff. Guess what? In a normal ad agency, social media or otherwise, that's the job of 5 different people. So the ads manager only manages the ads. They don't write it. They don't plan strategy. Most of the time, they don't even decide what type of ad is being run. A lot of them, they don't. There's somebody else who comes in and says, okay, we're running this type of ad. Their job is to optimize, be like, okay, we're putting this much on that. We're putting that much in this. And in some agencies, they don't even get a chance to decide that. Some they don't. They're given a budget. The ad is an engagement ad. The ad is a traffic ad. And they're sitting down, looking at a computer, looking at metrics all day from all the different accounts and adjusting as they go. And then they turn around, get the results, and go back to whoever the creatives are, the marketing director, the creative director is, or whoever the product, whatever is, and saying, hey, these are the results. I did this, matching ad, but it looks like let's test out creative. And then the other folks who write the copy, write new copy. The other folks who design the images, make new images. You're doing the job of at least 3 to 5 people is what I'm trying to tell you. So 3 to 5 people who all get paid different salaries. So you're doing this on the cheap. You're doing this by yourself, and you're relatively doing it on the cheap. Now, of course, there are other ad agencies and everything else, Facebook agencies that charge like $300 a month. That's one model. Well, guess what? Those models, they target certain people. They're not targeting companies that make millions and millions of dollars a year. And maybe you're not too, but they're also a factory. They are a chop shop for ads. Most of the time, their ads do not work the way they should. A lot of times they are wasting their clients' budgets. A lot of times there's some other sneaky, underhanded stuff going on, but I won't go into that in this video. You, I assume, give a damn, and a lot of you have read posts, give a damn about what you do and who you do it for. Meaning you want to do a good job, you want to get a person results. So you're doing a job of multiple people, and you actually care about doing a really good job. So you should price yourself accordingly. So if you can only handle 3 people at a time as clients, and you're trying to get at least $1,000 in cash in your pocket after tax, after business expenses a month, then your minimums have to, in order for you to accomplish that goal, have to be set a certain way. So it might be $1,000 a month. It might be $1,500. You can figure out that math on your own. But that's the name of the game. Okay? So if you have an imposter syndrome, you're going through the course, you got people in the group where you can ask questions, you're doing a shit ton more than a lot of ad agencies are out there. And trust me, I am out there with a lot of them. I speak to clients and gotten them off some horrible contracts with a few of them. You're doing a lot more. So just keep that in mind, that at least you're not trying to fleece someone out their money. At least you're really trying to give somebody results. So you should be compensated accordingly. All right. So that's enough for now. I'll see you guys whenever. I got a Comic-Con to go to. Deuces.